Greetings, welcome, 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 welcome. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a good one. I am slightly behind, but we're doing okay. We're doing all right. Hello, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is having a good Wednesday. I hope everyone's having a good week. Oh my goodness, the camera has moved. I've moved my camera, or either that or Poppy's moved. Just shift that around there so you can get a good view of executive producer Poppy the cat. Welcome. Hello everybody. It's good to see so many people in chat already. I know I usually say so. I had something I was going to talk about before I started talking about things, and then I just straight up forgot. So I'm just going to skip straight to the hellos. Hello everybody. Sassy, hello. Karao Kunzai, hello. Ollie, welcome, 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 welcome. Hello, Medisweet Magic, hello, Becklime. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. It is good to see everybody. Poppy has taken up her like, she moves around the flat throughout the year, and she's now reached the stage where she's on the back of the sofa, which is delightful. Happy to have seen you and Ollie and Marie's co-working chat. Yes, honestly, I have been so productive this week as a result of that stream. I've been sort of lurking and I'm going to do, actually, let me do a shout out for Oop Marie's co-working streams, because they're great. So you know, I kind of work in the morning, and then around about sort of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is when their stream starts. That's the point where I start to like have a bit of a drop in energy. So it's the perfect time. And yeah, it's meant that I've been on time for things. Like, I think even just having a timer in the corner, and then being sort of accountable for that has been incredibly helpful. So yes, I'm very, very much enjoying co-working streams. I can't say the same for Ollie, but I can't speak for Ollie rather. But yeah, I've been getting a lot out of it. So I'll be there on the regular, I suspect. Somebody was asking about the tracks that we're playing before the stream started. So the first two were from. I have no idea who that is. The first two were from entries into the OST Composing Jam, which was sort of a game jam on itch, but it was for composing music for video games. So the first one was from Valley and Mountain, where all of these are available on Bandcamp. The first one was from Valley and Mountain, and the second one was the main theme from Runaway, which was the last one I did. Runaway is a good time. I had fun with that one. It's very like heavy, distorted guitars and all sorts of delightful other things. And then the last one was a remix I made of some Metroid music, which was delightful. But yeah, so that was the music for today. So today we're going to be doing some more work on our little audio documentary. It was the one with the electric guitar riffs. Yes, that would have been Runaway. Let me get it up on. Let me get it up on Bandcamp. Stick my headphones on so you can hear stuff. Was that Ross? No, there is some film stuff happening. So that's Sarah's dad. That's just popped around. So let's have a look over here. So Runaway, which is this one. When was this made? So this is 2022. And so the first one I think was this one. Brother Anubis, hello, welcome. Sniffles and temporary, Poppy is forever. This is true. This is very, very true. I had a lot of fun making this one. I don't know if the videos are still up on YouTube, but So like this is the one with the electric guitar towards the end. This was made not long after I did Doctor Who Redacted and I got the grandmother, so this is me still figuring out how to use it. It's a very fun guitar track. Heavy guitars. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. I feel like this is very much the precursor to Pit Crawler. I really like the last track on this. I'm just gonna. I had a lot of fun with this one. This is me accidentally discovering that like running a synthesizer through guitar pedals sounds amazing, because that's what that is. I really like the OST composing jam is a lot of fun. Let me give this. Fades very slowly out with some piano. It's very like it feels very Pink Floyd. It's like the 80s wall of sound guitar, but like pleasant. Well, see, it's not that track. It's not a guitar. It's a synthesizer being run through like a guitar rig, and you get this lovely kind of clean sound. Daft Punk did a similar thing for a lot of their tracks, so they did a lot of synths masquerading as guitars, which is great fun. So do you get something to OST too? So you're given like, so I've not done it in a while. I know it's continued on, but this was the last one I did, and this was a couple of years ago. But the way it used to work, and will probably still work, is that you get an image and you get a prompt, and you can use one or the other or both, which is delightful. It's not this image. Basically what I do when I finish making stuff is that I'll go to the Smithsonian image archive, which is all public domain, and find an image that sort of vaguely works. You have to like invent the game as well, so it's really good for like if there's a project you want to make a soundtrack for, but you don't know anyone, like you want to make an action film soundtrack, but you don't have the resources to make an action film. Just enter OST Comp Jam and do it that way. The OST Composing Jam, and do it that way. So yeah, it's a really 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 good way to like just experiment with making stuff quickly. I know for most of them you've got like 2 weeks, but for some of them like Crunch Time, you are given like a weekend, which is delightful. There's also a remix one as well, which I can't remember what that's called. But yeah, OST Composing Jam. Go check it out. It's really cool. Anyway, so 48-hour film challenge audio edition, kind of, yeah, but it's just the music part, which was the bit I was kind of there to do when I used to do the 48-hour film challenge, and you don't have an editor over your shoulder going, nah, this doesn't work. So it's better than the 48-hour film challenge. Yeah, it's a really good community as well. Everyone's really really cool, and you get some really interesting sounds and really interesting kind of music out of it as well, because there's so many different approaches to Yeah, there's so many different approaches to video game music in particular. I did a 48-hour challenge once. I made the graphics overlay and credits in college. So I learned how to be a composer through the 48-hour film challenge. Basically, Sarah and I and a group of people that were kind of also interested in making films, we kind of formed a team and started doing it like twice a year, because there's one in Glasgow, one in Edinburgh. So we do both, and then we're just like, right, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna get really. And I think it's a really good way of learning how to compose good soundtracks quickly and efficiently without your kind of, because you don't have time to have any kind of ego. You just have to make something that works. And I think it's a good way to develop skills as a musician, as a composer specifically. Like I think the best like if I have like one piece of advice, if you want to be like a film composer, it's that when you get the brief through, make the first idea, get it out of your system, and then put it, and then delete it, and then because that idea where you're like, oh, this is going to be the Oscar-winning soundtrack, this is going to be a beautiful soundtrack that people listen to on their own without the context of the film. You're not making music for the film. You're making music for you, and you kind of need to get that out of your system before you actually start to make music for the film. And a really good example of this was when I did Doctor Who Redacted. Because the first draft of the Doctor Who Redacted theme is a Doctor Who theme, right? Like it's very orchestral, it's very big, it's synthy, it's orchestral, it's great. And then they came back and they're like, that's not really the vibe we're going for with Doctor Who Redacted. So I was like, right, okay, well, look, I've got the Doctor Who out of my system, and now I can actually start doing some actual work to fit the brief. So that's if you're interested in being a composer, that's like a good sort of piece of advice. Watching the stream while I do dishes. Hello, Targrade, good to see you. Nimsy, hello. Sorry, is it too late to send the tiny? Not at all. You can still absolutely send the tiny in, Command Tiny. I'm not going to be editing them until I've got a few in, so probably at the end of the month, if anything. So you've got plenty of time to submit in. For those that weren't here on Monday, I'm creating like a little stinger for this new podcast project called Tiny, and basically I want a bunch of people saying the word tiny and then cutting it all together and making it into like a little sort of NPR-esque little jingle. I wrote it down to record and then I didn't. I'll try to do that tonight. Again, there's no rush. It'll probably be the end of the month. It'll probably be the last thing I do on this piece, honestly. Because also I've realized that I think we're probably going to have to make some like original music for this piece as well. So there's plenty to do. There's plenty to kind of keep us busy. So there's absolutely no rush on those. But thank you. I'm glad so many people are kind of wanting to contribute. I mean, you can submit it in Welsh as well, which I'd love that actually, in different languages as well. So I'm still catching up on old streams. Did you ever put a label that says "Stop laughing" on that one piece of tech? There's an emote now. There's an emote that's stop. We have an emote for the stop laughing. I was having a chat with Ollie recently. Because Ollie was looking for synth recommendations, and they were like, I feel like there was a synth you were talking about a while ago that you were kind of obsessed with, and I was very much just like, you're gonna have to narrow it down, buddy. And we were kind of going through it. I was like, well, copying a link, sending it through. Well, what about this one? No, it was not that one. Okay, finding another link. What about this one? And then it turned out to be the Lyra 8 organismic synthesizer. Stop laughing. So it was. Yeah. Speaking of Ollie, right before the stream started, Ollie sent us a little present. Ollie sent us a little gift. So for those that weren't here on Monday, we were watching a bunch of archival footage from like the 50s, 60s, and 70s, specifically driving safety films, to try and find some archival stuff for try and find some archival audio for this piece about learning how to drive or relearning how to drive as an adult. And they kind of asked for what my sources were, and they sent me something. Now, I've not listened to this, so I don't know what this is, But Ollie, it's only 2 seconds long, so I'm not really sure. Either way, let's have a listen.
Save your car before you save yourself.
Okay, amazing. Bean Rainbow 22, welcome. Hello, it is good to see you here. That's prepare for disappointment. No, not at all. That's a fun.
Save your car before you save yourself. Save your car before you save yourself.
I know you're kind of working on a bigger edit, which is very exciting, and I'm excited to hear that. Do you have somewhere I can see all the projects you've worked on? I didn't realize you'd done anything for Doctor Who. Well. You might want to take a trip over to www.tincanaudio.co.uk, and you can find links and information to everything I've worked on there. I made 2 pieces of music for Doctor Who the first season of Doctor Who Redacted. I got commissioned to make a main theme and a Doctor theme, so it's still a wild thing that I get to say that. Although I'm still, I think I'm still on the Doctor Who wiki. First of all, I'm on the Doctor Who wiki, which is great. But I think I'm still on the Doctor Who wiki, sadly under an old name, but because the BBC aren't great with that. And you're award winning. Yeah, I have won awards as well. I'll have something funnier before the end of the stream. I am looking forward to that. Okay, so tonight what we're going to be doing is we're going to be kind of working more on this piece. We're going to be specifically cutting out the clips that we highlighted last time on stream. Also, last night I went out in my car and recorded a bunch of narration. So you'll get to hear me driving and that particular interesting little thing that happened. And then we're going to start pulling things together into a structure. I have interviews. I have interviews booked with people. I have contributors sorted, but I'll be doing that over the next couple of weeks. And then once that's sorted, we can start cutting some tape as well. But hopefully over the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to do that. So that's our plan for tonight. We're going to be editing some narration tape, and then also we're going to start pulling together. Did you believe in stop signs? I did. I do believe. I want to believe. Actually, no. Wait. Hang on. Let me get the. Hang on. Wait. Let me do a thing. Let me do a thing. This is not worth. This is absolutely not worth the joke. I want to believe in stop signs. How do I turn that off? Okay, that was... Also, I'm sorry, that was so much louder than I was expecting it to be. I have... That's a sound effect I use regularly on What the Trans. So if you enjoy, if you enjoy the X-Files, that wasn't even the good one. That was the bad version of that. I was looking for this one. Yeah, that's the one from the actual show. Anyway, right. Let's do some work. Okay, right. Okay, chat. Before we switch over, I need you to look at me. I need you all to look at me right now. All of you, look at me. I'm gonna take my glasses off. Okay. Don't panic. Don't be frightened. It's perfectly okay. We're all safe here. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna get through this together, okay? And just don't be frightened. Be calm. But I got a new theme for Reaper. So it looks different. It's a different theme. I'll explain why, but I don't like change. You see this. So let me explain why it looks different. Okay. So this is it's nvk.tools. And they make, so they do a bunch of plugins for Reaper, like extensions and plugins for Reaper. But one of the things they've recently released is the NVK theme, which looks like this. And the reason I got it, right, is the reason I got it was because you get so much more control over what Reaper looks like and what you need Reaper to do. It also does a couple of really cool other things. So first of all, you've got so much more customization about these buttons and these buttons over here, additional buttons over here, which I've just realized you can't see. But if I turn my camera off, you can kind of see there's some extra buttons over at the top there. And also, so it automatically, if I put that in, it should automatically colors tracks together. So it means like if I'm very much wanting to put another archival track together, I can just put it on like that. Colors it automatically, which means it's one less thing for me to do. Finding stuff, like organizing big projects, is much easier to do because when you click on stuff, you see these little faint lines. These little faint lines here, they come over the lane, so it tells you exactly which track you're using, which is very, very handy. The location bar is nice and clear, which is very important. It's very easy to find out where you are. And also this is a really cool thing. So you have these two custom buttons here, and you can kind of link these to, you can have control over what these link to. But the first one that you use, so say this, let's listen to this clip here. Actually, no, let's not listen to that one because that's intense.
Others require conscious reasoning.
So this one I'm like,
factors must be checked before a change of operation.
There's a hiss there. I want to put an EQ on it to try and get rid of the hiss. I can click this button.
Others require conscious reasoning, where factors must be checked before a change
and then
of
I can change the EQ.
When we consciously follow safe practices, they will soon become safe habits. Let's see how an unsafe practice develops into a bad habit.
So I can just
Driver
do
X
it in there
himself
without having
driver,
to kind of go into a separate window.
At exactly 7:40 each morning, he left his home and followed the same route to work. There is
also another plugin I use a lot is Isotope's denoise. And now I've just linked that. So if there's a track I need a denoiser on, I can just click this button. It automatically goes on.
His subconscious had developed a dangerous habit pattern. And on this morning, his conscious thoughts were occupied with more interesting things than driving.
So it's a, like, I understand that change is scary, and it does light mode jump scare. Yeah, for some reason this effect window is unchanged, but if I click this effects window, it's it's still night mode. Very, very strange. It sounds so clean. Oh yeah, if you're interested in audio cleanup, Isotope RX is kind of essential software. Yeah, so you know, change is scary sometimes. The theme I was using before that I used for, I think, upwards of maybe about 5 or 6 years. But there are some limitations to it, and also I was very much just like, I kind of want something that's a bit more designed. Like, this has been designed more for people working in game audio, and also NVK does a bunch of additional plugins for Reaper that I kind of want to use, that I kind of want to get, and they plug into this theme really easily. Like, they have one where I think it's called like Layer, I think. Yeah, sorry, I think it's called Create or Layer or something like that. But basically what it is, it opens up a separate project file, and then you can add sound effects together to kind of make, so rather than having like lots of tracks with lots of really small things on it, you can open that up in a separate project file, put whatever sound you're wanting together, and then it gets exported into your big project file as like a single file, which is very interesting. So I think I'm going to get that as well. It would mean something like, say, the Camlin project file. It would make it a lot smaller, and I think that's useful. If you look up bisexual reverb, it's only posts about you. What? When you say look up posts, Do you mean like Google? Like, who's talking about me in bisexual repair? I hope it's not the company. If the company's talking about me like that, that's slightly less good. Okay, so our first order of business is to go through all these clips that we took yesterday, delete anything we're not using, and then we'll listen to the recording I did yesterday. So I did go through the Where Safety Starts, the video we didn't watch on Monday. But the problem is it was actually really boring. Like if you look here, there's maybe only one or two, there's not really that many things that I've taken from it, because it was honestly mostly just about tires. Like it's mostly this guy talking about the benefits of the new squeegee tire. Hang on, let me get the video window up.
Cost you far more than the small additional price of general tire safety and the peace of mind that goes with it. What a difference. The same situation when you're riding on those new Generals. The answer, as we said, is in the tires. In General's new top-quality squeegee tire.
It's just this.
Called squeegee because of the unusual, exclusive action traction when called upon to stop. Its patented high, flexible tread ribs roll smoothly straight ahead. But the moment the brake is applied, the wrinkle action wipes a clean, dry track for a quick, straight stop.
It's just an ad for tires. Yeah, it's a 10-minute ad for a single kind of tire. It's really boring, but there are like a couple of interesting, useful tidbits.
With the millions of cars crowding our highways today, where does safety start? According to the best answers to date, there are two starting points. First, the driver. And here is how that problem is being attacked.
I thought that was a useful clip.
Every year, 1.5 million boys and girls graduate from the high schools of this country. If all those were trained how to drive a car properly, that would mean 1.5 million new expert, careful drivers fed into our traffic problem each year.
So I thought those two pieces were kind of quite interesting. Can we move these over? Yes, we can.
With the millions of cars.
Then it was just.
From one school in 1933, the idea has already spread to half the high schools of the country and to every state in the Union. Some of them provide elaborate facilities. This is all good. But most schools simply go out to some little used, quiet street selected by the police department, and there, to the 3 R's, are added the 3 S's of starting, steering, and stopping. So
I was very much just like, this could be interesting because it's about a high school driver training program. But then it becomes this just chatting about stop distances, which is not really what we need. And then it talks about the new squeegee tire with action traction technology, and you're like, oh, this is nothing. I can't use any of this. So what else we got here?
From the standpoint of safety, the most important thing about driving a car is ability to stop.
See,
there are 2 distinct reactions to be measured in this test: human or mental reaction and mechanical reaction. From the time you see the emergency to the time you slam your foot on the brake, that is your human reaction, the distance your car will travel while you are coordinating eye, mind, and muscles. Then the mechanical reaction is the distance it takes the tires to stop the car.
How long it takes the tires specifically to stop the car. It's quite strange. But I held on to that because I thought that could be useful. And then there's another clip over here.
Regardless of how quick or expert you are at applying the brakes here, you are completely dependent on the mechanical part of your car to stop.
Yeah, so, like, there's little bits and pieces. There's still little tiny bits and pieces of things that we can use. What did I...
It's the brakes that stop your wheels, but it's the tires that stop your car.
You see the little subtle hints of advertising, right? Even at this part, they've not introduced the idea of the new squeegee tire. At the moment, it's just a lesson on how to drive your car, and they're already like, but tires are very. Don't underestimate the importance of tires in your car driving.
Stop your wheels.
Thank you, Professor Neihart, and how right you are. Let's watch as the professor clinches the demonstration.
So it's just yeah, goes from there.
Purposely, I asked one of the smaller girls to take the wheel.
Oh yes, there was a very strange, just random bit of 1940s sexism in here.
Purposely, I asked one of the smaller girls to take the wheel to show that a tiny foot can stop a car on these tires as easily as a number 10.
Just bizarre. Even the tiny feet of a woman can even stop a car. Also, the test they set up was really bizarre, right? So they attached a thing to the front of the car, this like little thing that sets off a sort of little sulfur explosive. And they were very much just like, you drive along, and then the guy in the passenger seat will pull it once, and then that's the emergency. That's when you need to brake, and then it presses again when you put your foot on the brake, and then they set it off again when you stop. And I'm like, that's so bizarre. There must be an easier way to do that rather than setting off a small explosive on the side of a car. Very weird. Just very, very, very strange.
Purposely, I asked...
No, wait, not ready. Also, I've noticed now that all of these have been knocked out because of the way ripple editing works.
Look out, there's a car pulling out.
Yes. So, what about a stopwatch? Yeah, like it's just like surely the person in the car could be doing the time measurements, right? Rather than have somebody externally doing. It was just like, this is so much more complicated than it needs to be. I don't understand. Yeah. Oh.
Look out, there's a car pulling out. Slam on the brakes.
Yeah, I thought that was just a fun little thing we could use.
We are about to test the strength of two tires.
They spend so much time talking about these goddamn tires. Oh.
Be good drivers in the beginning.
But what would happen to you if your son or daughter had the car out and you got... Seeing this picture?
Of course, Professor Neihart.
I'm interested in high school drivers because I believe that's where safety starts. I'm also seeing this...
Of course, Professor Neihart.
I'm interested in high school drivers because I believe that's where safety starts. I'm also interested in tires because safety starts there too. You let...
He's in a washing
that
machine.
Point in life
oh, a jelly bean break, thank you. Sorry, I believe there was another jelly bean break earlier. I'll have two.
You're more interested in the quieter, softer, cushioned ride, easier steering and parking.
Why is she getting bigger?
Smarter styling. But what would happen to you if your son or daughter had the car out and you got word they couldn't stop in time?
Oh my God.
Just this thought in closing. The little it costs to train our young people to be good drivers in the beginning is as nothing compared to what it saves in accidents and lives. And the little difference it costs to change over to General squeegee tires for your sake and the sake of your family is likewise as nothing compared to General tire safety and your peace of mind. Because in the new General squeegee, you get quick, straight line, action, traction, stopping. Greater stability, extra strength, and more mileage than any General tire ever built in the past.
So yeah, so not a lot in that, admittedly. But now we have our terrifying digital horror, analog horror rather.
Only for cars, trucks, buses, and motorcycles. Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Yep.
Motorists must learn to think and plan ahead. Superhighway can be...
Oh, yeah,
motorists must learn to think and plan ahead. Superhighway can be very confusing. Plan your entire...
Oh.
Never drive your car on any superhighway when the vehicle has worn out...
Never drive your car.
Be certain that your dangers are multiplied at high speeds.
I'm going to see if I can...
Your car might stop running. You might have an accident. Be certain that your car is in top condition. Then you are ready to drive at a time. Don't try to jump. It is safer to drive with a... You don't save time by riding on top of the next car. If the slower moving car would stay in the right-hand lane,
Yeah, no, that's nothing. I don't know why. Oh, wait.
each of these warnings should
It's our favorite bit.
first never stop your car on the freeway and never get out of your car in a lane of traffic. If your car has a flat tire, stalls, or develops other trouble, stay
I just love how the driver's like, what was that?
out of your car in a lane of traffic. If your car has a flat tire, stalls, or
What the
develops
hell
other
was
trouble,
that?
stay inside and bring it to the extreme right.
Okay.
Your life is worth more than a tire. Save yourself before you save your car.
That's why you use squeegee tires with action traction technology.
And exit your car on the right-hand side.
That's just bad advice for UK drivers.
If your eyes close for just a fraction of a second, you're in immediate danger.
Yeah, that's that's also. I think we could. So basically, what I want to do. So at the start of the 10 minutes that I recorded yesterday, I locked my front door and then I started rolling the recorder. Went down the stairs outside to the car. It maybe takes like a minute or so, and I like the idea of using that as like an opening kind of collage of these clips to kind of set the tone a little bit. So we're going to put all these clips together and see if we can find any kind of narratives that links them all together.
Rest. Okay, park your car and rest. Keep your mind on your driving and not on other matters.
Yeah.
Watch the vehicles in front of you on the freeway and remember the cars behind you too. There safely. That's another reason for planning your route before you begin the trip. And you must maintain a much slower speed. Remember the freeway tips expert drivers practice all the time. You pay for your mistakes, one way or another. But there is no reason...
It just stops. So threatening. It is incredibly threatening. Okay. So quite a few clips there. Which one's this? Is this? Oh, this is the human factor.
How safe a driver we are is determined by how well we control our... Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which causes accidents, is very little understood. Each of us are individuals with varying degrees of... How safe a driver we are is determined by how well we control our physical actions
The
through our
menacing
mental
one.
process.
Yeah, the one that is weirdly
Our minds are divided
like
into
horrifying.
two parts. The conscious, through which we do all of our reasoning, and the subconscious, which retains knowledge. The subconscious has no ability to reason or to decide upon anything. It merely stores up facts and habits. Once we have mastered the mechanics of driving by conscious application, the subconscious takes over and performs these actions automatically.
That's a good bit of tape.
The longer we drive and habit patterns are developed, the more likely we are to be lulled into a sense of false security.
Yeah, I'd like that first bit. Yes, second bit. No.
Under ordinary driving conditions, we are continuously making split-second decisions. Many of these are routine and are adequately handled by our subconscious reflexes.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Others require conscious reasoning, where factors must be checked before a change of operation can be made. When we consciously follow safe practices, they will soon become safe habits. Let's see how an unsafe practice develops into a bad...
Oh, this is the guy that didn't believe in stop signs.
The subconscious takes over and guides our actions through the mechanical processes of the car's operation and opening the door and
Yes.
stepping into the street. If we have not consciously formed the habit of watching for hazards,
Jesus.
our subconscious sees no harm in letting us get out this way.
I think that was all I got from this one.
As time passes, our traffic congestion will get worse instead of better. Although billions of dollars are planned to expand our highways...
Yeah, no, there was nothing in that one in particular. After that, Wild at the Wheel. I'm sad we didn't get anything from Wild at the Wheel. That's very upsetting. And then we have Just done a little editing, and hopefully the Doctor Who Redacted Wiki has the same as the right name for you now. Thank you so much. That's incredibly kind. I don't want to watch it again. I physically can't watch it again. Like, oh man. You know, this guy, this guy did 300 government information films as this character. 300 films.
Mr. Mechanic, could you be our man?
Club in the world business. You will in a minute.
300 films, just, film within a film. This guy.
Drivers are the screwiest people.
300 government information films.
You're right, Lou, but don't forget the heedless pedestrians. They're kind of screwy, too.
Yeah. All brothers under the tin. I've got my hands full with the screwdrivers, and you got the screwy
Well, hello, welcome.
Screwjays. That's what they are. Screwjays.
Where's the...
Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department.
Yeah, this bit.
Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department.
Oh no, this bit.
Where they
We're
coming
nearly
from?
there.
Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick, even you and me. Come on, let's get down to cases. Let's take any driver. In other
Yep, so we just need that bit there, and then there's a bit at the end.
Who is that guy that just got out of your car? Consider it, man, and
Why, he's practically dead. Got him. No, he made it, and he almost makes us wish he hadn't. Cars, thousands of them. Every day, everywhere.
I had a nightmare about the noises this man was making.
Cars, thousands of them. Every day, everywhere. Traffic problems are really acute. With the increasing number of cars, the need for courtesy on our streets and highways is also becoming increasingly apparent. Screwdrivers and screwjays. Traffic tangles and snarls. All contributing to a higher cost of transportation, a greater strain on both our nerves and our pocketbook.
Yeah, but I feel like the answer is not more cars. I feel like maybe the answer is less cars and maybe, I don't know, more trains and buses, mayhaps.
But no, it's not entirely hopeless. Progress is being made. Traffic engineers are at work developing new and more efficient roads and highways. Here are some typical scenes showing approaches.
We're making roads bigger.
Underpasses. Boulevard Parkway. Here's an impressive scene of a modern cloverleaf, a fine engineering contribution to eliminate highway congestion.
You know what's another good way of eliminating highway congestion? It's, not having highways and having other modes of transportation.
Legislative bodies are also at work, passing and enforcing new and better laws. Mayors, chiefs of police, civic bodies, all are tackling this great problem. One large oil company is vigorously attacking...
OG King Condiment, welcome in. More lanes doesn't matter if you just make an insane amount of more cars. Exactly. Oh. But Amber, isn't it so great being constantly stuck in traffic? Oh, yeah. Right, so how much tape do we have to work with? So we've managed to keep a 10-second clip of this Dutch question mark man. Right, so how much tape do we have there? Oh, we've got about 5 minutes worth of tape. That's really good. That's kind of what you want. 5 minutes worth of archival is real good. Okay, so that's task number 1 down. So let's listen to... So, about 9 o'clock last night. So my partner's been Sarah's been taking the car out because she's shooting a feature right now and needs to leave the house really early, needs to be on set for 7 o'clock in the morning and doesn't get back till like 8:30 at night. So it basically meant that I didn't have access to the car. So Sarah got back last night and I was like, okay, either we can have dinner now and then I can go out and do my little drive. It maybe took about 10-15 minutes, and or I can do my drive now and then we can have dinner later. And Sarah was just like, well, go now, and then it means while the car's still warm and it hasn't frozen up again. So this is what we're working with. Annoyingly, I'm talking as though I'm introducing a piece rather than making it part of the piece itself, which is really annoying. But I still think there's a bunch of stuff in here we can cut in and use as material. So this is what it sounds like. I think I've cut a bit off the front there. I'm just curious, but do you make music professionally? Because I've always wanted to make music professionally. So technically, yes. Technically, I do make music professionally, but I need to set up a command for that. I'll put the website link down again. I do technically make music professionally, but the majority of my income comes from sound design and audio editing. So I tend to offer sound design and music as kind of one package. So I have done music, like music's where I started. You make money, you are a professional, it counts. No, I realize that, but like I feel like, if when I say to people I'm a professional musician, that comes with a certain expectation and it comes with a certain idea of what that means. And I think it's more accurate to say that I work in audio. I kind of do all facets of it. I feel like that's more accurate to what I spend my days doing. I'm spending most of my days editing interviews or editing podcasts or doing sound design for podcasts. Whereas I get far less in terms of music commissions, which, if I could do more music commissions, that would be great. But I also really enjoy doing sound design stuff. So it's, I'm very lucky that I kind of get to do both as a job. So it's, I spent my teenage years and my 20s being like, I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to be a professional musician. And then I started going to podcasts and audio dramas and doing things that way. And then I kind of came back round to doing music. So I kind of came in through the side door. We will be making some like music for this as well. I've got a very particular idea of what I want this to sound like for music. There's a track called, I think it's called Night Drive. I'm just going to double check what that's called. Is it called Night? Yes, it is called Night Drive. I'm going to play a little bit of this to give you an idea of what it's going to sound like. So something like that, something along those lines. That's Night Drive by Gautier, for anyone interested. That's very much an idea that I kind of want to go with. I've been playing instruments since 4 and now I'm 15 and I write music and play music and hoping that I can do it professionally because of my first year of playing. I wrote a piece and it's still one of my best to this day. That's really cool. Like, yeah, I think you just got to find the thing that works for you. Like when I was at university, I was a professional busker, and that was kind of how I managed to live for a while. And then I started doing music for short films, and that was unpaid, but it was experience. It was building up a portfolio. I think just the more skills you have, the more kind of employable you are, and I think that the more likely you're going to make it work. I get the majority of my income comes from editing podcasts, from being an audio editor rather than a musician or even a sound designer, arguably. All of that is changing now. I'm now on a big job, a big podcast. I can't talk about it yet because the first episode that I've edited isn't out yet. But once it's out, I'll be telling you all about it. But that's a sound design job. That's a actual proper freelance job doing sound design, which is really cool. Yeah. Okay, so let's listen to this audio that I recorded last night, and then we can start putting together a structure for this piece. That does sound pretty fun. It is a lot of fun. I love my job. I can't quite believe this is my job. This was all just recorded on my phone, by the way. Oh, thank you for the follow, OG King Condiment. That's very, very kind of you. It's a bit bassy. I might just take some of them. Right, okay. That's me putting the phone in the holder.
So-
I'm probably going to delete that.
One of the things I've been trying to get better at doing is driving by myself without an adult in the car, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to do that. So it is about 8 o'clock at night. It is a very dark evening in Glasgow.
It kind of sounds like a
about to go on a
seatbelt
drive.
clink. Yeah.
And record some narration. Right, so turn lights on.
I promise I do know how to drive. I stuck the funk in the chat. We'll come back to that at the end.
There we go. Right. It feels weird. Like, I've talked to people in the car before, like when they're in here, but when I'm talking to myself, it feels like there's like an extra layer of thought having to go into it. Hopefully that changes. So there's a nice sort of
You narrate the same way I do, yeah.
circuit round where I live, which also happens to be one of the test routes, so which is very handy. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I learned to drive when I was 17. Basically on my 17th birthday, I opened the card from my parents, and so there's a red light coming up, and it said, "Oh, your first driving lesson is at midday." So for about 2 hours on my 17th birthday, I spent 2 hours of my 17th birthday, having 2 terrified hours
I will be cleaning this up.
figuring out how to drive, or having my first ever driving lesson, and it was very weird. So a year and a half later, I passed my test and I got my license, got my full license, and then for the next 10 years after that, didn't have a car. Then when my partner Sarah and I got together, Sarah's kind of always had a car, and she needed it for work, she needed it for various other things, and when we moved in together, it was kind of one of these things that when we got married, one of the things was, right, I'm gonna have to relearn how to drive, which is something I did last year, yeah, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting thing.
You should
to
get one of
kind
those little TikTok lapel
try
mics.
and
I have
learn
one
how
of
to
them. I just
do.
don't like using it.
And it just kind of sort of really just happened that in the process of relearning how to drive,
This is me going around a
it just
slightly
happened that there
tight
were a bunch
bend.
of people who were also learning how to drive, and I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about, because I think it was something that I had never really thought about, this idea of
Little DJ wants. No,
you know,
hang on, I'll get them.
relearning how to drive, or the experience of learning how to drive as an adult, and kind of all the emotions and stories that come with that.
These ones.
Because I think
The
for some people,
Rode
you
Wireless
don't learn
ME.
because of circumstance, or because of because finances or fear or anxieties, anything like
I
that.
quite like the turn signal click.
And that was something I wanted to talk about. In my case, I just find driving really scary. I just feel like I'm in control of this huge machine. This huge machine, and I don't really know. I feel like I don't have as much control of it as I possibly should, you know. And that's a confidence thing. Part of that is a confidence thing. So I spoke to some people. I spoke to a group of people. Sorry, just a car drove past. So I spoke to a group of people who are either relearning or learning to drive for the first time, and I wanted to know what the reasons were. I wanted to know what the reasons were. I wanted to know why they hadn't learned to drive, or why they learned to drive and then had decided not to, or fell out of it, and yeah, and just see what stories came out of that. I also found a bunch of public information driving safety films from the 1950s.
See, I hate this. I'm introducing. I'm explaining the poem.
And I thought I'd add those in as well. So
I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate explaining the
I hope
poem.
you enjoy. I think one of the interesting things for me now that I am driving is that I find that I actually kind of enjoy it. Like, I've done a big journey. I did a big journey down to my parents, which was about 3 hours, and I actually kind of liked it. I enjoyed the experience of driving long distance. I think it is empowering in its own way, and it sort of gives you a certain freedom, and there's something kind of nice about the experience of just driving your car. And it's been interesting, and I think driving by yourself is also interesting, because you just sort of have to figure it out. Like, for example, I've got a left turn coming up, but I don't know where I'm going, so BRB. There's a learner as well. Great, fantastic. I'll just follow them. Fantastic. I'll just follow the learner. Excellent idea.
It's weird verbalizing all the internal thoughts, you know.
Now we come up to the tricky bit.
Left turn. I mean, left turns are easier in the UK.
Enjoy driving.
Right turns are the scary
that's been
ones.
One of the big things for me is having that realization, and I do feel more grown up as a result. I didn't think I would. I thought I was at the stage where I was kind of comfortable in being an adult, and that I was a grown up, and I was responsible. And then I started driving, and then I realized that there was still a feeling of being an adult that I hadn't really grappled with, and it was really, really lovely to have that feeling. I think something that I find quite difficult is doing things when I'm scared, and this is a big scary thing, and I'm very happy that I was able to face that fear and do something with it. I'm trying to think of a conclusion, but I'm also on a really busy road, so I guess this is our conclusion for tonight. Is that driving is scary, but you should do it anyway, unless you don't want to, which is also totally fine. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to my contributors. Thank you to...
Don't like this. Don't like this. Don't like this. Don't like this at all. It's awful.
Andrew, whoops, and Serena. And thank you, dear listener, for listening. And I hope to see you again here soon, in slightly calmer circumstances. Oh, I'm nearly home. Managed to get this all done in a one. There's still maybe like a little bit of distance left, so this is just bonus stuff. I hope the Twitch editing stream is going well. I hope everything's been delightful, and I hope it's been fun, and that there's been something in what I've just said that is useful. But hey ho, right, turn off. Final turn off to go home. Oh, delightful. And it's a green light as well, hurrah! Please don't change, please don't change, please don't change, please don't change. I'll be very upset. Thank you! Oh, yes. Yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Right. Ooh, I probably shouldn't have taken that in third. Oh, round we go. Okay. Great stuff. Okay. I'm just
gotta park. All right, here's something just for you guys. I am not very good at parking. Ooh. Except for tonight. Holy crap, just did that in a water. Holy shit. Oh my god, that was like a perfect park. Oh yes. Marvelous. Oh, day made. Yes. Oh. Yeah. It was the cleanest parallel park. I just pulled in and just did that. It was right up against the pavement. Oh, it was beautiful. Okay, there is actually some stuff in there that is useful. It's a trap all poets fall into, right? Yeah, absolutely. Like I think it's a Flannery O'Connor quote where it's like, if you can sum up your short story in one sentence, then what's the point of reading the short story? And I think it's like if you can't communicate what the poem's about within the poem, then it's then it doesn't work. You need to keep working at it until that's clear. It's a thing that Sarah and I realized when we were kind of new in the Scottish spoken word scene, and I think it's something that it's a thing we come back to a lot, being like, don't explain the poem, just do the poem. So also we're talking about these. So I got these for free when I did my Queer AF documentary about how synthesizers are transgender. And yeah, I got to keep them afterwards, which was delightful, because I did all my interviews via Riverside and they were all remote, so I didn't really have any use for these. But yeah, they're really good. It's really good. I just don't like lav mics. I just don't like them. Well, I've worked with them in film, and I just think like, if you're recording something here, like as a lav mic, if you're recording something on there, you're getting the audio through a very specific lens. I'm talking to you just now, but the audio is going that way, but the microphone's over here. So you're getting a little bit of distance, you're getting a little bit of echo. It's also softened a little bit as well. And that's kind of more interesting to listen to than me being right here talking to you like this. Like, if you're having to listen to this for a long period of time, that's going to get annoying, right? And it's going to be slightly uncomfortable to listen to. So yeah, that's how I feel about lav mics. I think if you're in a noisy environment and you need audio like that, perfect. But for this, I wanted car audio, so I recorded on my phone. Okay, let's do some cutting. As someone who devours epic length novels for fun, the answer to that is The Journey, but that's a me thing. I mean, I think big novels. I think it's not epic novels aren't explaining. Dune doesn't explain what Dune is about. I think that's the point. Like, if there was a summary before the book started, that was this is what this story is about before we tell it. That's explaining the poem. It's not a case of, a really long book is bad at telling its own story. No, that's not the case. Dune is a fantastic book. Charles Dickens is one of my favorite authors. But it's like, right, before you imagine Frank Herbert writing, before Dune starts, being like, before we start this story, I wrote it at this time, and this is the stuff that was happening for me round about the time. This is what it's about. This is kind of, it's like, that's not, yeah, that's explaining the poem. I read Dune in a week with full-time college and a part-time job. Incredible work. I'm doing this right now with a 700k Merlin fic. It's pretty irresponsible. And sleep is my bane. My excuse is it makes me happy, so it's worth it. Yeah, 100%. Good. I'm glad you're taking time to enjoy things. Okay, so I think this is our opening. And we can maybe start having the some of the archive clip kind of coming in and out and different places overlapping. Because then we've got right down to where's the door closing.
Right. Okay.
So that's kind of, I think that's our opening there, which is about 45 seconds, which is pretty good. It's pretty good for an opening. So let me put that over here. And then we're going to make a couple more tracks over here. And also, watch. Automatically changes color. Ah, ha, ha. So we'll call this archival left, archival right. So we're going to pan archival right, you guessed it, 50% to the right, and then 50% to the left. Okay, let's listen to some of this.
With the millions of cars crowding our highways today, where does safety start? According to the best answers to date, there are two starting points. First, the driver. Does safety start?
Ah, here's the driver. That's my department.
It's still horrible to listen to.
With the millions of cars crowding our highways today, where does safety start?
Ah, here's the driver. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the cannon, even you and me.
But no, it's not entirely hopeless. Progress is cars, thousands of them, every day, everywhere. Traffic problems are really acute. With the increasing number of...
The subconscious takes over. How safe a driver we are is determined. Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which causes accidents, is...
Even you and me.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, motor vehicles.
While you are coordinating eye, mind, and regardless...
Look out, there's a car pulling out. Slam on the brakes. The little it costs to train our young people to be good drivers in the beginning is as nothing compared to what it saves in accidents and lives.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Your life is worth more than a tire.
Maybe we can have like a drone over there. He just says slam on the brakes. Yeah. Hang on, let me turn the grandmother on. Let me switch on the grandmother. Don't clip that.
Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Look out, there's a car pulling out. Slam on the brakes.
Right. Okay.
Okay, that's nice. That's good.
With the millions of cars crowding our highways today, where does safety start?
Ah, here's the driver. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the cannon, even you and me.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of... Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which causes accidents,
posture check.
is
Thank you,
very
Dempsey.
little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day.
Ooh, I need
Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Look out, there's a car pulling out. Slam on the brakes.
Right.
Any time.
Look out, there's a car pulling out. Slam on the brakes.
Right. Okay.
Oh, and Ollie, thank you very much for the hydrate. Okay, we've got something. Ooh, and a save check. Good idea. If you are using this, if you are co-working to this stream, now's a good now's a good time rather to save your work and make sure you don't lose all that progress you've made over the last hour and 40 minutes. I love the boom from the archival to the boom of the car door. Yeah, I really like that as well. Right, okay. One of the things I've been trying to get better at doing. So I think. So let's play around with this archival stuff just a second. Let's drag it down here, and let's start with Macamoira. Hello, welcome in. Welcome. We've come at a fantastic time. We are at the start of putting stuff together.
With the millions of cars crowding our highways today, where does safety start?
Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the cannon, even you and me.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which causes accidents, is very little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Look out, there's a car pulling on the brakes.
Right, okay. One of the things I've been trying to get better at doing. Right, so I was thinking maybe we could do like a drone build-up. Sorry, I should move this around so you can see the synthesizers. Doing something along those lines. But I think there's a more interesting thing we can do. So media inputs, reset all media devices. Yep. So we're gonna do it something slightly differently because I think there's a better thing we can do. Okay. Right, this is me grappling with the new the new theme. Right. Right. Give me a number. Give me a number. Give me a letter between A and G. F. Okay, fair enough. Do F and G at the same time, I reckon. I learned a new trick on the piano recently, actually. Would you like to hear it? Okay, so here's a little piano trick. So if you're moving from a 1 chord down to a 6 chord. So say for instance I'm doing a B flat here down to a G minor. So it's the trick sounds like this. Try that again. A bit lower. It's a little gospel piano trick. Which is delightful. I did a few tricks on a piano recently, but the barman told me I should do my magic act on the stage instead. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Okay. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to come with me on this one. Have that going for as long as possible. Get in the car, losers. Amber's making music. I mean, this is still. I think this is still technically counts as sound design. Okay, so we're gonna do. We're gonna take this, and we're gonna apply to new take. Mono output. So now we have this delightful file here, which is just the audio track of that. So we can. Excuse me, crop to active take. I did a few tricks on a piano recently, but the cops busted me for solicitation. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to reverse this. So now it's playing backwards. Let's have a listen. So that's it backwards. We're going to make it slightly longer though. So we're going to slow it down, but we're also going to lower the pitch as well. Played at 0.7 its normal speed. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some compression. And we're going to have some quite heavy compression. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to squish it down so that the quiet parts get louder and then the louder parts get quieter. So if we go for a hard basic. So there still should be a fade, but it'll be... I'm starting to sound like the guy now. There'll still be a fade, but it'll be a much more kind of consistent one. See how that was slightly more consistent, and which is very, very good. We're also going to add, what's it called? It's called Sound Toys, little radiator. And Rich Cat Possum, hello, welcome in. We're starting to put together our little car documentary. So we're going to bump this up. So this is a saturator, so it's adding a bit of noise, but it's also boosting a lot of frequencies. So it adds a little bit of distortion as well. So let's see what that sounds like on its own. See what we're working with.
Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick, even you and me.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles.
So you sort of hear
However,
it
the
creeping in there.
human factor, which causes accidents, is very little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time. Look out, there's a car going on the right.
Right, okay, that sounded nice. I think we can make it sound a little bit better though.
Make a sudden, dangerous move at any time. Look out, there's a car going on the right.
Right, okay. Right, okay.
Causes accidents is very little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time. Look out, there's a car going on the right.
Right, okay. Amazing. And then we've just run that through the reverb. Sounds great. This is weird. So this is so weird. When I went onto the browser before I joined, I found that there was a new baby pygmy hippo born in Virginia named Poppy. Oh, Poppy with... Oh, sorry, I just turned around and I said, oh, Poppy, and then she's eating her food and she just went... I'm like, what? What is it now? What do you want from me?
Which causes that.
Okay, so this is what it's sounding like. It made a classical zoom noise. It's a technical term, obviously. Ooh, what happens if let's try something. What am I looking for? What do I want? Right, come with me on this. Okay, that's good. I quite like that. What am I also thinking of? Delay. That's what we need. That's what. Ah, yes, that was what we needed. Nice. Okay, so that delay is going to add a little bit of distortion as well. So I bought a free ticket for an online con that said it will teach to make an audio drama. Amazing! That's exciting. I hope it goes well. Okay, let's have a...
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which causes accidents, is very little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the...
Yeah, let's listen to this. See what we got so far.
With the millions of cars crowding our highways today, where does safety start?
Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick, even you and me.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which causes accidents, is very little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very
Hello,
heavy.
hello,
Thousands
welcome.
of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Look out, there's a car pulling on the brakes.
Right, okay. One of the things I've been trying to get better at doing is driving. Right, okay. Right, okay. One of the things I've been trying to get better... I might just quietly put a Moog. Starting a hype train for Lou in the Moog. We do have a grandmother emote. It just says mother, which is correct. Oh, Poppy is joining us once more.
With the millions of cars crowding our highways today, where does safety start?
Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick, even you and me.
Great strides
Chris
have been
Sune,
made
hello.
in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human
That voice is
factor,
getting
which
more
causes
engaged. It is.
accidents, is very little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Look out, there's a car pulling on the brakes.
Right, okay. The wave looks cool. Yeah, it's like the lovely bassy wave. Oh, my goodness, I didn't even think. I need to turn my mini-meters on. There you go. Gotta get some little data there for you. If I turn that the other way around. Because there's noise in it, it means you're getting this distorted wave. It's delightful. Okay. I think I'm going to add a bit more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the delay,
With the millions of cars
put it on the
crowding
reverb.
highways today, where does safety start?
Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the cannon, even you and me.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor which causes accidents is very little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Look out, there's a car coming along the street.
Right, okay. Millions and billions of stars.
One of the things I've been trying to get better at doing.
It is a very similar start.
Anytime.
You can tell I got them from the same place.
Anytime.
Look out, there's a car coming along the street.
Right, okay.
One of the things I've been trying to get better at doing.
The human factor is eerie. I think the human factor ended up being the scariest one that we watched. It was quite something.
Is driving.
The I find it very funny that I've just got these just. I might see about making that a sound button. I don't know how to do that, but I like the idea of having that be something that you can redeem. A very expensive redeem, I might add.
One of the things I've been trying to get better at doing is driving. Driving by myself without an adult in the car, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to do that. So it is about 8 o'clock at night. It is a very dark evening in Glasgow, and I'm about to go on a drive.
Cut this bit because it's not fun.
And record some narration.
I think I can set it as an alert sound. Yeah, I can make that work.
Turn lights on. Okay. To do that.
Without an adult, you are an adult. Yeah, but I feel like the context is clear.
Okay.
Just gonna cut this because. Quite like just leaving this as is.
There we go. Right. It feels weird. Like I've talked. Right.
You should get rid of that right because it's just. Ugh.
There we go. It feels weird. Like I've talked to people in the car before, like when they're in here, but when I'm talking to myself, it feels like there's like an extra layer.
This is redundant.
Of thought having to go into it. Hopefully that changes. So there's a nice sort of circuit round where
43k orbs. Yeah, I need to figure out what you can spend them on.
So there's a nice sort of circuit round where I live, which also happens to be one of the test routes, so which is very handy.
Oh, jelly bean break, thank you.
So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I learned to drive. So I learned to drive. So I learned to drive when I was 17. Basically, on my 17th birthday, I opened the card from my parents, and so there's a red light coming up, and it said, "Oh, your first driving lesson is at midday." So for coming up, it said, "Oh, your first driving lesson is at midday." So for about 2 hours on my 17th birthday, I spent 2 hours of my 17th birthday, I spent 2 hours of my 17th birthday. I spent 2 hours of my 17th birthday. I spent 2 hours of my 17th. Is it midday? So I spent 2 hours of my 17th birthday, having two terrifying. So for about 2 hours on my 17th birthday, I spent 2 hours. 17th birthday, having 2 terrified hours, figuring out how to drive.
That's annoying.
On my 17th birthday, for about 2 hours on my So for about 2 hours on my 17th birthday, I spent 2 hours of my 17th birthday. I spent 2 hours of my.
This would never happen on the, the Meredith Brothers stream. I would have been sung and yelled at by Tim so many times. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I spent 2 hours of my 17th birthday, 2 terrified hours, figuring out how.
Ah, there we go. That's it.
I spent 2 hours of my 17th birthday. So for about 2 hours on my 17th birthday. So 2 terrified hours. Is it midday? 2 terrified hours, figuring out how to drive, or having my first ever driving lesson, and it was very weird.
So here's a little editing tip for you.
It was very weird. So
things like that, redundant. Cut them out.
So a year and a half later, I passed my. So a year and a half later, I passed my test, and I got my license, got my full license.
He modding my emotes.
So a year and a half later, I passed.
I need to update the emotes. Some of these are old. Some of them are quite old and kind of need updating.
So a year and a half later, I passed my test, and I got my license, got my full license. And then for the next 10 years after that, didn't have a car. Then when my partner car, and she needed it for work, she needed it for various other
cut
things.
this out.
And when we moved in together, it was kind of one of these things that when we got to have to relearn how to drive, which is something I did last year. And when we moved in together, it was kind of one of these.
Okay. Oh yeah, I need to figure out the texture emote, don't I?
Then when my partner, Sarah, and I got together. Then when my partner for work, she needed it for various. And when we moved in together, it was kind
there we go. That's a way to chop up some material.
My partner. Then when my partner, when we moved in together, it was kind of one of these things that when we got married, one of the things was, right, I'm gonna have to things that when we got married.
There we go.
When we got married, one of the things was, right, I'm gonna have to partner. When we got married, one of the things was, right, I'm gonna have to relearn how to drive, which is something I did last year. Yeah, it's been interesting. Yeah, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting thing to kind of try and learn how to do, and it just sort of really just happened that in the process of relearning how to drive, it just so happened that there were a bunch of people who were also learning how to drive, and I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about because I think it's something that it was something that I had never really.
Okay, here we go.
Because I think it's
Oh, all right.
to talk about.
There we go. There we go. So I think that's going to be our opening. Then I think I'll probably cut into some interview tape or use some archival. My cat somehow stole cooked bacon from inside my fridge. My goodness, you cook your bacon inside the fridge? Save check. Thank you, Ollie. If you are co-working, now's a good time to save your progress that you've been making over the past hour and 45 minutes. Maybe for 5,000 orbs you could do a trick on the piano. I do like the idea of having just to play something on the piano reward. A trick piano. I don't know about a trick piano, but actually, do I still have? I'm gonna have to do a little thing here. Yes, I do. If I put that on there. Why is that so quiet? It is coming through the mixer, but it's... That's very weird. Huh. All right then. Never mind. For 1,000 orbs, Amber would do a flip. I mean, okay, program not working. No, it is. It's just coming through really quietly for some reason, which is slightly bizarre. Oh well. 1 million orbs and Amber creates a musical. No, you could not pay me enough to make a musical. I'm not making a musical.
With the millions of cars crowding our highways today, where does safety start?
Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick, even you and me.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which causes accidents, is very little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very
Sonic the
heavy.
Hedgehog.
Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Look out, there's a car pulling on the street.
Right, okay. I think now is a good time to just remind everybody that I am currently looking for contributions from viewers and from listeners for a little opening jingle, for an opening sting for this. Basically, I am asking people to record themselves saying the word tiny. It can be through a microphone, it can be through your phone, it can be just any, audio capture device. And then the idea is I'm going to put them all together into a little thing. So I'll stick that there. Ambush Catposm. Yes, thank you, Ambush Catposm. I had a listen. It's fantastic. I'm going to kind of start. I think, depending on scheduling, I might pull that together at the end of this month. You want more time? No. It's I need different people. I need like a selection of people. So we've got a few in there, so thank you everybody that's already thrown anything in. But like I said, it's going to be the end of the month, so the more the merrier, you know.
Dangerous move at any time. Look out.
Amber for certain wants you to make a voice like the dude from Screwdrivers.
Look out, there's a car pulling on the street.
Right. Okay. So I think we can put a bit of archival here.
We're also learning how to drive, and I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about.
How safe a driver we are is determined. Great strides have been...
Automobiles are moving at high speeds.
The little it costs to train our young people to be good drivers in the beginning is
Yes.
as nothing compared to what it saves in accidents and lives.
I kind of like that. I think that's kind of fun.
Process of
And bring in some music here
relearning
before we
how
cut to
drive.
interview tape.
It just so happened, and I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about.
The little it costs to train our young people to be good drivers in the beginning is as nothing compared to what it's...
And I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about.
The little it costs to train our young people to be good drivers in the beginning.
And I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about.
The little it costs to train our young people to be good drivers in the beginning is as nothing compared to what it saves in accidents and...
Our minds are divided into two parts. Once we have mastered the mechanics of driving by conscious application, the subconscious takes over and performs these actions automatically.
Where's the...
But no, it's not entirely hopeless. Cars, thousands of them, every day, everywhere. Traffic problems are really acute. With the increasing number of cars, the need for courtesy on our streets and highways is also becoming increasingly apparent.
and lives.
Cars, thousands of them, every day, everywhere. Traffic problems are...
Ooh, let's take from...
people who were also learning how to drive, and I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about. I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about.
The little it costs to train our young people to be good drivers. The little it costs to train our young people to be...
It's a bit loud.
The little it costs to train our young people to be good drivers.
I might... let's see if we can clean this up a little bit more. Can you do MP4s? Oh, you can! Oh, delightful. So this is Isotope RX. This is the program I use for audio cleanup.
Clinches the demonstration. To make it really tough,
Just because there's
went
that.
down the street. Because it is important not only to be able to stop quickly.
I just that high noise is quite frustrating.
But to stop in a straight line, wet.
Can I just? What happens if I just do a normal denoise on this?
100 times as many as blowouts. So they make the test again. With the same car on ordinary tires. Tires supposed not to skid.
That will vary according to the driver. The more expert the driver, the shorter the distance. That's why we start training in high school. Now we come to the mechanical reaction. This much longer distance here. Regardless of how quick or expert you are at applying the brakes.
That'll do us. That's safe. Why am I picturing a little guy with a flat broom cleaning the audio? I mean, it's not. You're not far off. Okay. Now I just need to choose new file. It should be in the same file. There we go.
And I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about.
The little it costs to train our young people to be good drivers in the beginning is as nothing compared to what it saves in accidents and lives.
Cars, thousands of them, every day, everywhere. Traffic problems are really acute. With the increasing number of cars, the need for courtesy on our streets and highways is also becoming increasingly apparent.
then we can cut into the next bit, because I'm going to have 4 contributors for this one, four interviewees that I'm going to be doing over the next. I've got a couple logged in for the rest of this week, and then I've got another couple hopefully booked for next week. And then the idea is that, so I'm going to take the interviews, we're going to listen to them, I'm going to chop them up, and then the idea is that I'm going to start kind of, I think there's going to be this sort of these sort of themes that I'm going to try and pull together, and yeah, with the plan that I can draw some themes together and then build sections out of that. There's already some loose sections in kind of the stuff that I recorded when I was driving in the car. I do like the idea of putting the little parking thing at the end.
Ooh! Except for tonight. Just gotta park. All right, here's something just for you guys. I am not very good at parking. Ooh! Except for tonight. Holy crap! Just did that in a wonder. Holy shit! Oh my god, that was like a perfect park! Oh yes! Marvelous! Oh, day made! Yes! Oh.
Yeah, I like having that at the end. That's good fun. Yeah, because I'm trying to think.
Because I think it was something that I had never really thought about. I think it was something that I had never really thought about. This idea of, you know, relearning how to drive, or the experience of learning how to drive.
Don't worry, Ollie, I haven't
as
forgotten.
an adult, and kind of all the emotions and stories that come with that. Because I think for some people, you know, you don't learn because of circumstance or because of because finances or because of finances or fear, or because of finances or fear or anxieties, anything like that. And that was something I wanted to talk about. In my case, I just find driving really scary. I just feel like in my case, I just find driving really scary. I just feel like I'm
Thank you for the posture check
control
and the
of
jelly bean
this
break as well. Thank you.
Huge machine. That's this huge machine, and I don't really know that's this huge machine. That's
Where's it gone?
I'm in control of this huge machine. That's this huge machine, and I don't really know machine. That's this huge machine, and I don't really huge machine. I don't really know huge machine. I don't really know. I feel like I don't have as much control of it as I possibly should, you know. And that's a confidence.
We can add a little thing in there. There's a thing about
car. Regardless of how, from the standpoint of safety, the most important thing about driving a car is ability to stop.
where's
Boys and girls graduate from the high school.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy.
no? It's from
How safe a driver we are is determined by how well we control our physical actions through our mental processes. Our minds are divided into 2 parts. The conscious, through which we do all of our reasoning. The subconscious has no ability to reason, or once we have mastered the mechanics of the subconscious. The longer we drive
Where's it gone?
and habit. Under ordinary driving conditions, we are continuously making split-second decisions. Many of these are routine and are adequately handled. The longer we drive,
I actually kind of
once we have mastered the mechanics of driving by conscious application, the subconscious takes over and performs these actions automatically. The longer we drive and habit patterns are developed, under ordinary driving conditions, we are continuously making split-second decisions. Many of these are routine and are adequately handled by our subconscious reflexes. Others require conscious reasoning, where factors must be checked before a change of operation can be made. When we consciously follow safe practices, they will soon become safe habits.
I think we use that as our first link, right? Because I think that's kind of neat. I think we can put this in later, perhaps. But for the first one, just have this come
It just so happened that there were a bunch of people who were also learning how to drive, and I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about.
Once we have mastered the mechanics of driving by conscious application, the subconscious takes over and performs these actions automatically. The longer we drive and habit patterns are developed,
under
not
quite dry.
ordinary
I think that's
driving
kind of fun.
conditions, we are continuously making split-second decisions. Many of these are routine and are adequately handled by our subconscious reflexes. Others require conscious reasoning, where factors must be checked before a change of operation can be made. When we consciously follow safe practices, they will soon become safe habits.
And then we can start cutting into interviews. I think that's kind of... That feels good. Wait, if you don't give Amber jelly bean breaks, they die? I don't know. I don't want to find out. Okay, I think that sounded pretty good. We've got about 3.5 minutes. So I feel like I should stress, this isn't the normal order of operations when making something like this. Normally you collect all the materials and then you sit down and do the edit. You know, when I was... some music that's like snaptic and glitchy. Yeah, I think probably the next thing I'm going to do I think probably what I'll do on Monday is I'll start making some music for the piece. I'll start making like some samples and things that we can use. How many do you have left? Jelly beans. Well, I filled this up. But then, I don't know, there's this as well, and that's kind of looking a bit, so I'm not really sure. I mean, we've also got this as well. So fun fact about these jelly beans that were sent to me, they go out of date in June. So get cracking, everybody. Give to Kofi so Amber never runs out. So normally when you're making an audio documentary like this, you collect your tape and then you edit. Whereas this, we're kind of building it as we go, which is probably not the most efficient way to make something, but I'm kind of enjoying the challenge of it, really. Like, I really like how the New Year's piece started out as one thing and then became something else. Are you challenging chat with bean breaks again? No, I've put a hard limit on them, and I think we need to start. The thing that is bringing that down is when Ross comes over to do co-working. Because if you freeze them, apparently they last forever. I'm not freezing. My freezer is already very full. I'm not putting having to justify putting jelly beans in there, putting jelly beans in there as well. I'm going to have a handful of beans button where you just eat a fistful of them. No, I'm not, because that takes so long, and I need to talk because it's part of the deal. Otherwise, it becomes some weird fetish ASMR stream, and I don't know about you, chat, but I don't want that. As I was saying, I like how the New Year's piece evolved. I like how it changed so that we were starting to incorporate clips of previous streams, and then we obviously had all the listeners, had all the kind of listener submissions as well, which I think made the piece. I think there's the best part of the New Year's piece was your contributions to it. That's kind of what made the piece, I think. And it's that rare thing where the feeling of making something and the actual end product sort of overlapped. I feel like that's a very rare thing that happens, and yeah, I feel like that happens in the piece. It's a piece I'm really, really proud of. Look, Amber can't just eat jelly beans but needs room for iron brew. Yeah, like, I just want to stress, I do eat stuff that is, not sugar. Okay. So, our dear friend Ollie mentioned that they were working on... Sounds fake, but okay. So at the start of the stream, Ollie mentioned that they were doing a funk remix of some of the clips that we watched on Monday, and they have put a clip in the Discord. So let's have a listen to that. Once again, just want to be really clear. Not listen to this. Oh, thank you for the hydrate or dihydrate. Don't. You're gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Let's have a listen.
There are no traffic lights or stop signs. Automobiles are...
I'm just gonna turn that down because that's real loud. Yeah. That's okay.
There are no traffic lights or stop signs. Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time. Never drive your car. Dangers are multiplied at high speeds. Never get out of your car. Motorists must learn to think, 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 learn to think. Never stop your car. Never get out of your car. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Oh, delightful. Thank you so much, Ollie, for that gift. That was amazing. Oh, incredible work. Oh, applause in chat, everybody, for Ollie there. Amazing. Oh. Shout out. Incredible work. Incredible. Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, delightful. See, you know, once again, funk 108 BPM cowbell sleigh bells. Like, there's so much good stuff in the Prelinger archives, and it can be used for a variety of material. So yeah, okay. So and on that note, I think I'm going to call it there for tonight. We can have a listen to the mysterious. Hello, by the way. Sorry, I saw you come in halfway through that. And hello, Logical by Design. Good to see you. Do we want to have a listen to the 3 and a bit minutes we've got so far, or do we want to, or are we happy just to call it a night there? Next week I'll be working on some music. I'll be putting some. Yes, we do. Okay, let's have a listen. Yeah, let's. Because the great thing is, none of this is all out of copyright. There's no copyright on this, so you can just use it for anything you like.
With the millions of cars crowding our highways today, where does safety start?
Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the candle, even you and me.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which causes accidents, is very little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time.
Look out, there's a car pulling out on Highway 3.
Right, okay. One of the things I've been trying to get better at doing is driving by myself without an adult in the car. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to do that. Okay. There we go. So I learned to drive when I was 17. Basically on my 17th birthday, I opened the card from my parents, and so there's a red light coming up. It said, "Oh, your first driving lesson is at midday." 2 terrified hours figuring out how to drive, or having my first ever driving lesson. So a year and a half later, I passed my test and I got my license, got my full license. And then for the next 10 years after that, didn't have a car. Then when my partner, when we got married, one of the things was, right, you know, I'm gonna have to relearn how to drive, which is something I did last year. And yeah, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting thing to kind of try and learn how to do, and it just sort of really just happened that
Can we cut that down a bit more?
in the process of relearning how to drive, it just so happened that there were a bunch of people who were also learning how to drive, and I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about.
Once we have mastered the mechanics of driving by conscious application, the subconscious takes over and performs these actions automatically.
Put some music under here.
The longer we drive and habit patterns are developed, under ordinary driving conditions, we are continuously making split-second decisions. Many of these are routine and are adequately handled by our subconscious reflexes. Others require conscious reasoning, where factors must be checked before a change of operation can be made. When we consciously follow safe practices, they will soon become safe habits.
And then we'll go into some interview tape once I have the interview tape. Okay, that's our show. I'm sorry we overran a little bit, but that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for coming along. I'm aware the past couple of streams have been a bit hodgepodge, just as I kind of figure stuff out. But yeah, I'm having a really good time. On Monday, I'll hopefully have some interview tape for you that we can start cutting together and putting together a bit more of a structure. And you say overran, we say more time with Amber. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here, as always. I'm glad that these streams are enjoyable and people get stuff out of them. Just as a final reminder, all this month I'm looking for recordings of people saying the word tiny for what the podcast that this will be going into. It's the podcast that the New Year's piece went into, and that podcast feed is around, but because there's only one episode in it, it's not showing up anywhere, which is slightly frustrating. But if you use Command Tiny, it'll bring up a little link. If you want to be a part of this, a part of the little opening sting, just record yourself saying the word tiny as few or as many times as you like, and as many different voices as you like, and then stick them in that folder that I've just put in chat. Probably at the end of this month, I'll be taking all the submissions and then turning them into a little jingle, a little bit like what I did with Anamnesis. If people here were about for that. Bye to Poppy also. Yes, Poppy's been working very hard the past. You know, it's a co-working stream with Poppy. Also, if you are in the Tin Can Audio Discord, the poll is now up for next month's episode. There's 2 pitches that were the same as last month. The two ideas that weren't voted, that didn't win, and then there's a new idea in there as well. So if you want to bear the responsibility of what I make on stream next month, you can go vote there. And if you are wanting to be a part of that, if you are one of our Ko-fi members or you are a subscriber to this Twitch channel, or you're a subscriber to this Twitch channel and you've got your Twitch and Discord account connected, you will get access to the Tin Can Audio Discord account. It's very chill. It's a very chill place. And it's where I'm going to be putting polls up every month to vote on which one of these, which little audio thing gets made next. I'm expecting delivery of some contact microphones sometime over the next week, and the plan is at least one of these episodes is going to be myself just attaching the contact microphones to things and just be like, there's no narrative this month. There's no there's no plan this time. I'm just going to stick a contact microphone to a bunch of stuff and see what it sounds like. She's such a great cat. She's a really good cat. She is the best cat. She's just staring at me now. Humbly request a Poppy purring contact mic. So I don't have a. So I have a recording of Poppy purring. Hang on, let me see if I can find it for you. Oh, where is it? It is in Sound Library. Oh, you'll have heard it in Hello Earth. But I will see if I can find it for you. Dogs? No, it's not dogs. Cat sounds. Poppy. There we go. Oh, that was a really short one. I'll see if I can get the full sound. So she climbed into the bath and. Turn up the input for cat sound, which I'm probably not going to get. This was not long after we got Poppy. Yep. Poppy deciding to rub her entire face against the microphone. Yeah, it's in stereo as well, so it's moving around. A Poppy cast when? So, what is it? A contact mic on Poppy's collar. That's bold of you to assume that Poppy has a collar. Poppy cast when? Like, I can't afford Poppy's rates. Like, you know, she's an actor now. She was disrupting Camlin recording sessions and everything. Okay, I'm going to call it a night. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. I'm having a lot of fun making these little pieces, and I'm excited to make more. We'll be back on Monday with more of this. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and yeah, I hope you stay safe. And I will hopefully see you next week. Good night.